The stars shimmered quietly above the planet Lorvan, but peace was an illusion. For months, the small colony had been under silent siege by a force no one could identify. Power grids flickered. Communication satellites went dark. And then, too, ships vanished during patrol with no trace. Captain Myra paced the command deck, her boots clicking against metal. She wasn't from Earth, she was born on Lorvan, raised among starlight and silence. But she knew one thing clearly: if this kept going, they wouldn't survive the week. Any word back from the council? She asked her comms officer. He shook his head. Nothing. Same as yesterday. Same as last week. They've abandoned us, Myra whispered, a cold wave crawling up her spine. The galaxy's ruling council had promised unity, safety, and defense, but Lorvan was far from the core worlds. Too far to matter. The colony's emergency beacon had already been triggered days ago. Nothing happened. Now, it was time for something unthinkable. Send the SOS to Earth, Myra ordered. The room fell silent. One of the officers spoke. Earth doesn't answer calls. Not anymore. We try anyway, Myra replied firmly. Even ghosts can hear when the wind is loud enough. For across the galaxy, buried deep under layers of cosmic silence, the SOS pierced the blackness like a knife. It bounced off satellites long forgotten, triggered sensors designed to stay dormant. Finally, it reached an old relay station hidden on a dead moon. It awoke, and with it, Earth's last watch AI, locked in deep silence for decades, blinked alive. The message was short, desperate: Lorvan colony under unknown attack. No support. No council. Please help. Within seconds, the AI decrypted the code and ran the old protocols, ones not touched in over a century. Earth's arsenal had not been dismantled. It had been hidden. On Lorvan, 3 days passed. Myra's crew was losing hope. Rations were being cut. Civilians were preparing bunkers, while enemies moved closer in the dark. Then, one quiet night, the sky above Lorvan shattered. It wasn't ships falling. It was ships arriving. Massive black shapes tore through the atmosphere with no sound. Cloaked in shimmering shields. No signal, no call, no warning. Just presence. A dozen warships hovered above the colony, silent and terrifying. The people of Lorvan didn't know what to do. Some fell to their knees. Others ran. Myra stared through her command window, speechless. 1. Ship landed outside the base. Its ramp lowered. Out stepped a single human, not in council colors. Not in armor like the rest of the galaxy, but what made everyone stop wasn't the person. It was the flag on his shoulder. Earth. The human man walked up to the base as if he belonged there. He didn't draw a weapon. Didn't speak. Just handed over a small device to Myra. A message played: This is Earth. We received your call. Then silence, and then, the stars behind Lorvan shimmered again, as if the galaxy itself had taken a breath. More ships came, hundreds, thousands, all bearing no banners. No council insignias, no promises, only one thing connected them all: the flag of Earth. Myra stared at the fleet above Lorvan. No one spoke on the command deck. No one moved. The humans hadn't fired a shot, hadn't made a demand. But their message was clear. Earth was watching. The man who had delivered the message stood beside her now. His name was Thomas, simple, quiet, and calm. He didn't smile, but he wasn't cold either. He just observed everything like he had seen it all before. Why now? Myra asked. Earth's been silent for 100 years. Thomas replied, we were never gone. Just awaiting. For what? For a reason. In the skies above, Earth's ships moved into a pattern, tight, perfect, like a hand curling into a fist. They weren't sleek or pretty like council cruisers. They were thick-plated, scarred from older wars, and far more dangerous. Myra looked at the display screen. The ships had no names. Just numbers. She tapped one. This destroyer, it has no registered model. That's because the council never catalogued them, Thomas said. These weren't made for politics. These were made for war. Myra looked at him sharply. Why hide them? Thomas finally looked her in the eyes, because if the galaxy knew what we had, they'd never sleep again. Thomas explained the truth. After the last great galactic war, Earth withdrew from council politics. While others focused on peace talks and treaties, Earth turned inward. Quietly, they built a defense system deep inside uncharted zones, hidden beneath hollowed moons, disguised as debris fields. Not one fleet. Not 2.5 massive war fleets, each fleet operated on its own AI command. No signals. No need for direction. Each could awaken only under one condition, a human SOS. Myra could barely process it. You mean? Earth prepared for this day. We prepared for every day. She shook her head. But you vanished. No trade. No diplomacy. Nothing. People thought Earth had collapsed. Thomas gave a rare smile. We let them think that. Behind him, screens lit up. One after another, alien ships were spotted near Lorvan, strange, silent vessels, creeping closer each day. But now, something had changed. They are backing off, one officer said. All of them. They are retreating. Myra looked at the screen. Why? Thomas spoke simply, because they know who came. In a council meeting thousands of light years away, panic had started. The council's eyes in the outer rim had just sent images, grainy but unmistakable. Earth's flag was in the sky again, and it wasn't just any ship. It was Obsidian class, a design banned by the council centuries ago for being too aggressive. Now, those ships hovered silently above a colony the council had ignored. What triggered them? A reptilian diplomat asked. A distress signal. Lorvan. They shouldn't have responded. They have no authority. Another voice answered darkly, they don't need authority anymore. Back on Lorvan, Earth's ships began scanning the surrounding space. Thomas handed Myra another device. This is yours now. She blinked. What is it? Access. Your colony is under Earth's protection. This will link you to the defense net. What happens if we decline? You won't, Thomas said. Because now you've seen what silence hides. As the sun rose over Lorvan, the black ships remained quiet, patient, watchful. No promises were made. No rewards were asked for. Earth didn't come for thanks. It came because someone called, and Earth always answered its own. The council chambers echoed with angry voices. The walls, once lined with calm debates and diplomatic pleasantries, now shook with fear. This is a breach of order, shouted one councillor, his long arms slamming the table. Earth had no right to act. But they did, another replied, voice tight. And no one stopped them. Because no one could. Dozens of species were present, feathered, scaled, smooth-skinned, tall and tiny, all arguing, all afraid. Earth's fleet had reappeared without warning, and it was stronger than ever. They responded to an SOS from a colony we ignored, said a quiet voice from the back. That will be the real issue. The room fell silent. Meanwhile, in a secure chamber, the council's top military advisors gathered in secret. Holograms of Earth's warships floated above the table, massive black vessels with no registry, no known blueprints, and no weak points. These ships are older than the council itself, said a grizzled general. And yet, they are more advanced. How is that possible? Someone asked. We've advanced in technology. Earth hasn't been in contact for over a century. The general's eyes narrowed. That's what we thought. But Earth didn't stop building. They stopped sharing. One advisor leaned forward. What do we do now? No one answered back. On Lorvan, Captain Myra stood with Thomas near the edge of the colony walls. Children ran in the background, laughing again for the first time in weeks. Civilians peeked out from shelters. The fear was fading. Myra asked, will the council come here? They might, Thomas replied. But they won't come to fight. Not after what they've seen. She looked up. The sky still held Earth's fleet. Like giants guarding a village. What if they do try? She asked quietly. Thomas didn't look away from the horizon. Then they'll see the rest. In deep space, more black ships stirred. Not all had moved yet. Some were still sleeping. In asteroid fields. Others were buried under dead planets, cloaked by quantum layers. But after the SOS reached Earth, the signal didn't stop there. It woke them all. One ship, the Aegis 17, had not moved in 112 years. Now, it powered up in silence. The weapons it carried had never been used. No one even knew they existed until now. At the edge of Council space, a scout ship moved toward Lorvan to observe. Inside were 3 alien officers. They believed Earth was bluffing, that the fleet was a relic. Empty threats. Rusted weapons. Their ship barely made it halfway before it was stopped, frozen in place by a gravity web, pulled toward a strange signal. Outside, something massive appeared. It didn't broadcast warnings. It didn't fire. It simply turned to face them. The alien crew screamed as every alarm in their ship lit up. Radiation, power drain, atmospheric shift. They turned back. Immediately. On Lorvan, Myra saw the update flash across her screen. Council scout ship attempted approach. Retreated. Thomas nodded. They are testing us. Measuring our patience. And when that ends? He looked at her with calm eyes. Earth doesn't bluff. If pushed, we act. If challenged, we finish. She said nothing for a long moment. Then, with a steady voice, she asked, why did Earth hide all this? Thomas answered softly, because we remembered something the galaxy forgot. What? That piece isn't a promise. It's a shield. And someone has to hold it. In the council chamber, a final message was delivered from a neutral system. Earth has reawakened. Their fleets move in silence. And if pushed, they will not stop. Asterisk. The council fell quiet once more. For the first time in a century, they were afraid. Asterisk. A cold wind blew across Lorvan's surface. Though the sun was rising, the colony remained tense. Earth's ships still floated above, unmoving, silent, like ancient statues watching over a sacred ground. Captain Myra stood with Thomas on the colony's ridge. Below, engineers were rebuilding power stations, children played in safety, and the people of Lorvan had hope again. But above, in the void, a shadow grew. A small ship entered Lorvan's orbit. It carried the crest of the Galactic Council. No weapons. No shields raised. Just a diplomatic shuttle and one old voice on open frequency. This is Envoy Laren of the Galactic Council. We request a meeting. Thomas looked at Myra. They are afraid. And that makes them polite. Inside the command center, Myra welcomed the envoy under the sharp watch of Earth soldiers. Laren was thin, gray-skinned, with dark tired eyes. He looked around the room, pausing at Thomas. I didn't expect Earth to respond, Laren said. You didn't expect Earth to remember, Thomas replied. Laren sighed. The SOS should have gone to us first. That's protocol. It did. Myra interrupted. You ignored it. There was silence. Laren folded his hands. Earth's fleet is a problem. No, Thomas said. It's a solution. You made the mistake. We cleaned it up. Laren tried to remain calm. You've moved without council approval. That alone breaks a dozen treaties. Thomas nodded. We didn't sign them. The envoy's voice tightened. Then you're acting alone. Thomas stepped forward. No. We are acting for humans. The ones you ignored. The ones who watched colonies like Lorvan die while you sat in meetings. Laren looked down. What do you want? Thomas placed a small disc on the table. It glowed red. This is our message. Myra watched as the hologram activated. Earth seal appeared, then words spoke from a firm voice to all members of the Galactic Council. Earth is not your weapon. Earth is not your subject. If one more human colony sends an SOS and is ignored, we will act again, faster. Stronger. Without warning. The message ended. Laren's skin seemed paler now. So that's it. That's your warning, Thomas said. And it's the only one you'll get. Outside, Earth's ship shifted slightly. Not into a formation of war, but into a wall, blocking all paths to Lorvan. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. But the message was clear: we are here. We are ready. Try us. Back in Council space, news of the encounter spread fast. Footage of the Black Fleet above Lorvan played on every system. On trading ships. On border stations. In homes, some cheered, some prepared, some ran, old stories about Earth came back, stories many believed were myths. That humans had built war machines with minds of their own. That they trained soldiers who could live for weeks in void space. That they hid something darker behind their silence. Now, those stories seemed real. On a remote council planet, a young student asked her teacher, why didn't they stop Earth when they left the council? The old teacher looked out the window and whispered, because we didn't know what they were doing in the dark. On Lorvan, the sky was quiet again. The envoy had left, his ship drifting away without answers. Myra turned to Thomas. What happens next? He simply said, that depends on the galaxy. She nodded slowly. And Earth? Thomas looked up at the warships. Earth will wait. But not forever. At the edge of known space, one last war fleet awakened, bigger than the rest, silent for over 200 years. Its name, Black Horizon. It turned slowly toward the stars and began to move. Far from Lorvan, beyond the edge of any star map, the void stirred. In a dark sector where no ships dared to enter, massive debris fields floated endlessly. Old wrecks, broken satellites, and forgotten tech drifted like ghosts in silence, but deep inside that graveyard, something began to hum. A single pulse of blue light blinked from beneath an asteroid, then another, and another. Moments later, the asteroid split apart, quietly, neatly, as a massive ship lifted from its shell. Its hull was black as the void itself. Its size eclipsed even the largest council battleships. No lights marked its surface. No signals were sent. Only a single name glowed faintly across its side, Black HFY. Back on Lorvan, Thomas stood on the observation deck of the main command tower. He stared into the night sky, as if sensing something shift. Myra approached him. You feel that? Yes, Thomas said without turning. The last fleet is moving. The one you said Earth never wanted to use. He nodded slowly. The Black Horizon was designed for only one thing, total war. If it's awake, Earth isn't just responding anymore. She frowned. What does that mean? It means Earth is preparing for what comes next. Inside the council chamber, panic turned into quiet planning. We need to contain Earth, one leader said. Before they decide we're a threat. Contain. Another snapped. You saw what they brought to Lorvan. You want to fight that? There must be something we can offer. They don't want offers, the elders said coldly. They want respect. And after what we did, after ignoring that SOS, our words mean nothing. The chamber grew heavy with silence. A new message arrived, short. Chilling. The Black Horizon has awakened. The council knew that name, classified. Feared. Forbidden. Centuries ago, rumors had spread of a ship so dangerous, so powerful, that even Earth sealed it away. Some said it could erase moons. Others claimed it had a mind of its own. None of them expected it to ever move again. Now, it was on the march. As the Black Horizon moved through space, ancient protocols activated one by one. Internal bays lit up with rows of drone carriers. Massive cannons hummed to life. Deep within the core, a command AI stirred, a being known only as Vigil. Its voice echoed through the dark corridors. Threat detected. Protective force authorized. Mission, shield humanity. On Lorvan, ships from nearby systems arrived with peace offerings. They came in waves, envoys, aid ships, traders, hoping to avoid Earth's wrath. Each one was inspected. Each one was watched. Earth accepted their gifts, but made no promises. Thomas met with Myra at the edge of the colony. They think they can buy peace now, she said bitterly. They are trying to stop what's already moving. Can it be stopped? Thomas looked up. The only thing that stops Earth's arsenal is Earth itself. A council diplomat arrived again, this time in person. He bowed low before Thomas and Myra. We request dialogue. Please. Let's talk before this goes too far. Thomas stuttered the man. You want to talk now, after Lorvan was nearly wiped out? The diplomat lowered his head. We made mistakes. Thomas didn't respond. He simply handed the diplomat a small black data stick. What is this? The man asked. Proof of what Earth still has left. When the diplomat returned to council space and played the data, the chamber watched in horror. Ship schematics, weapon platforms, orbital defense systems, and one final file, a warning video. Earth's voice was calm, strong. We didn't forget the galaxy. We just waited. If another human world cries for help, and is left to die, we will not wait next time. We will arrive first. And last. Across the stars, whispers began to spread. Earth has fleets no one knew about. Earth has weapons no one can counter. Earth is awake, and now, so is the black horizon. The stars were quiet. Across the galaxy, traffic slowed. Trade lanes emptied. Patrol routes were cancelled. Colonies reinforced their shields. No one knew where the black horizon would go next. But everyone feared it would not stop, even pirate. Fleets vanished from known space. War clans paused old conflicts. Former enemies now spoke in whispers about the same thing: Earth has returned. At the edge of Council territory, dozens of worlds now demanded emergency meetings. Their people were angry not at Earth, but at the Council. You promised peace, one planetary leader shouted in the broadcast. But it was Earth who answered the call. Another world's representative added, if we were in danger, would you leave us too? The Council couldn't respond. The truth was too raw. Earth had done more in a week than the Council had done in years. On Lorvan, Myra stood by the rebuilt communications tower. Children played in the fields again. Families had come out of hiding. Food convoys from Earth had arrived. The people felt safe, but above, the Earth fleet still waited, silent, unmoving. Thomas stood near the colony's shield gates, watching the skies. Myra joined him. Still no word from Black Horizon, she asked. Thomas shook his head. It's moving through unclaimed space. Quietly. Watching. What happens if someone shoots first? Myra asked softly. Thomas didn't look away. Then. Earth stops watching. In a remote sector, a Council commander made a mistake. A scouting frigate approached a dark zone Earth had marked as no entry. The captain claimed it was a navigation error. It didn't matter. As soon as the ship crossed the line, the Black Horizon reacted, from light years away. It sent a single signal. A swarm of black drones launched from its belly. Fast. Silent. Controlled. They didn't destroy the ship, they just froze it, disabled every system, drained its power, and sent it drifting back. When the ship returned to Council space, it carried a message etched into its hull: this was mercy. Next time, there won't be one. Fear spread faster than any war ever had, but fear wasn't the only thing growing. So was respect. Many planets, especially outer colonies and ignored worlds, began requesting Earth protection. Messages flooded into Earth's old communication lines: Earth, if you're listening, we trust you more than them. Help us. Watch us. Protect us. Earth doesn't forget its people. We want to stand with you. On Earth itself, leaders watched the galaxy from deep within hidden bunkers and orbital command rings. They didn't celebrate. They didn't smile. Earth had never wanted to dominate the stars, but Earth would not watch its own kind suffer again. A senior commander sent a single message to all Earth fleets: hold position. Show strength. Use power only when needed. The galaxy has to decide, fear us or stand beside us. On Lorvan, Myra looked over a group of colonists planting crops again. Funny, she said to Thomas, all it took was Earth waking up to make everyone behave. Thomas smiled slightly. Earth never wanted control. Just peace. But peace has a price. Myra looked up at the dark shapes floating above. And Earth paid it. Thomas turned to her. Earth was the price. That night, a dozen unknown ships approached Lorvan's orbit. The colony went on alert, but they didn't come to fight, they came to talk. Ships from outer worlds. Independent colonies. Even a few rogue traders. All sent one message: we want peace. We want Earth to help keep it. And so, a new alliance began, quietly, carefully. Not a council. Not a ruling government, just a promise, between those who had been forgotten and those who had never stopped preparing. A month passed, Lorvan was alive again. Fields had been restored, families rebuilt homes, and the skies were calm. Earth's ships still hovered above like shadows, but they were no longer feared, they were trusted. Other colonies, ones once ignored or abandoned, began linking with Lorvan through Earth's new defense grid. It was quiet, voluntary, and without cost. All Earth asked for was honesty and a warning if danger returned. Myra stood in the command tower, watching transports come and go. She still remembered the moment Earth arrived. The silence. The black ships. The weight of presence now, that silence. Felt like safety. Thomas walked in, holding a small data tablet. You should see this. Myra glanced at the screen. Dozens of colony names, from all over the galaxy, were listed. Each had requested Earth Fleet Watch. They are not asking for weapons, she noted. Just guardians. Because Earth listens, Thomas said. The others ruled. We protected. In the council chamber, things had changed. Half the seats were empty. Many systems had left. Some joined Earth's quiet alliance. Others went silent, too ashamed to speak after the truth was exposed. The council still existed, but its voice had become small. The most powerful voice now came from Earth, and Earth didn't shout. It whispered. At Earth's deep orbital station, Black Tower Command, a final message was being prepared, not for war, not for warning, but for something different. A signal meant for every system in the galaxy. One message. One voice. Back on Lorvan, Myra and Thomas were joined by colonists and diplomats as Earth's message played. A quiet hum filled the air, and then a woman's calm voice echoed across every known channel. This is Earth. We were silent, because peace is not built through noise. We did not vanish. We prepared. We are not your enemy. We are not your rulers. We are your mirror. Ignore one of us, and we rise for all. Harm one of us, and we answer together. We asked for no tribute. We offer no threats. But understand this. Humanity will no longer wait for permission to defend its own. We are not the forgotten. We are the storm that remembers. Earth stands ready. Call us and we will come. The message ended, silence returned, but this time, it was a different kind of silence, one filled with understanding. Respect. And a new kind of peace. In deep space, the black horizon slowed its drift. Its AI, Vigil, received the final signal from Earth, message sent. Status, awaiting call. Then, for the first time in centuries, it powered down, not in defeat, but in peace. Myra stepped outside the colony's wall. She looked at the sky above. Black ships remained, still as statues. But soon, one by one, they began to rise, vanishing into orbit. Leaving no sound. No trail. Thomas walked up beside her. They are leaving, she asked. He nodded. Lorvan is safe now. Earth watches from afar. She turned to him. What about you? I stay until the galaxy understands. Until silence is no longer dangerous. Myra smiled faintly. You think that day will come? Thomas looked at the blue horizon. It just did. Asterisk.